Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the worst 6 brawlers inside of the game right now. So as you guys are probably aware, there's been quite a few buffs to the worst brawlers in the game, so this list has changed quite a bit. So if you're looking to pick up anything in the shop, make sure you're using the credit code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Alright guys, so jumping into the 6th worst brawler in the new meta, we have BBC. Guys might be wondering, like, BB, she's not completely the worst brawler right now, which I would agree with. She's definitely usable, and a lot of you guys are probably again gonna really hate me for saying it, but BB, I think she's at least bottom 10 in the meta, and me personally, I'd put her bottom 6, just because whenever you're in draft format, you know, there's always another tank you want to be picking. There's never really a game mode or a map that BB really thrives in comparison to like other brawlers, and yeah, she's just been nowhere near the meta. Other brawlers around her have kind of power crept, and again, I just don't really see her being used too much, but she still is like kind of balanced. Like, she's still usable on ladder and on certain maps, maybe like pit stop for example, and a few heist maps. Like, she's not like completely trash, but in comparison to the other brawlers, I just looked through the list and I just saw like every single other brawler being used in certain game modes, maybe to counter certain brawlers, but BB's just never used like this. So you know, I really want BB to get a buff with the next set of balance changes. I love BB metas, but she's slowly over time getting worse and worse, and I just really don't like to see it. BB is definitely a fun brawler to have. If this loose super wasn't making me slip around, I probably would have been able to score that, but unfortunately I wasn't able to score. So you know, there's a few brawlers that I maybe could have put in her place at number 6. You know, there's brawlers like Dynamite and Edgar that I missed out on this list, which I could have probably put actually below them, but I just thought I'd at least put something a little bit controversial in there, just because again, you know, it's setting kind of brawlers in the bottom 6, and I think BB near enough like creeps away in there. Honestly, not really in the best spot, so gonna be a nice, okay, no, I was gonna say I could have probably got that loot with the bubble, but it's looking very likely these guys are gonna score. And again, there's like been other brawlers that have been in and around like the bottom 10 that have got buffs, like brawlers like Mr. P for example, brawlers like Griff. You know, straight away they're easily not going to be in the bottom 6 if you guys are wondering, just because of how good the buffs are. I'm seeing them so much in scrims right now and in Power League, like they're actually decent placed. So that's going to be brawler number 6. Let's hop into number 5. Alright guys, so jumping into the 5th worst brawler in the new meta, we have Jackie. So Jackie still, I believe, in the bottom 6. I think I placed her in the bottom 6 last time around, but yeah, Jackie got a small buff to her Hardy Hat star power, but just really didn't do anything. I don't remember last time when I seen Jackie in a competitive game or in a draft. She's just basically useless in this meta, not really that good, other than payload, right? I'm not including payload just because that's going to be like a seasonal event, and my guess is that this mode would never return. So other than now, like, I would actually be pushing a lot of Jackie on payload, because she's just completely unusable near enough on every single other mode. Also, you know, game modes like Siege used to be Jackie's strong point, and they're actually been taken out as well. You know, she used to be a really good bolt collector, but that's been taken out of the game. So just overall, the meta really hurting Jackie right now, and I just felt like they kind of overkilled her super. I feel like she should have that shield back with her super. I don't know, it just felt right, because for the most part, you're going to get destroyed when you're pulling people in. And yeah, it just doesn't really sit well with me that this has changed. So unfortunately, you know, they have a Ruffs on the team. There's a lot of wall breaks, which are going to hurt Jackie even more, and it's just going to be really hard to do anything. You know, I've got against a Ruffs, a Crow, and a Spike, and I'm just going to be sitting here just taking in all this damage and not being able to do anything because of my range. So yeah, let me know what you'd actually buff for Jackie or all of these brawlers. To be honest, I'd like to hear what you guys' suggestions on it. For me, I'll definitely look at actually changing a super. I know they've changed the super so much, which is just really frustrating, but they should definitely change it. Like, I think a shield would be nice on Jackie, maybe nerf the hits on it, but I just don't get why they really changed this. So should be able to get the kill onto Ruffs. Okay, we still can't get the kill onto Ruffs. That's how bad Jackie is. Or maybe just buff her damage just a little bit. Just something to give her some life, because, you know, she's basically so unusable. Normally, a lot of these brawlers are actually usable in some parts, but yeah, Jackie just not. Again, I'm trying to fight my way out of spawn, and I just can't do anything. There's so many other brawlers which have just such a better super. You know, got tanks that are pretty bad in the meta like Primo and Bull, but at least they're able to charge up and like get a kill and break out. But I just feel like in a spawn trap as well, Jackie just really can't get out. Even with her speed, it's just so frustrating to play against. So I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a loss, because we've been getting spawn trapped the entirety of the game. Maybe I'm able to make a quick getaway. I just don't see it happening. I'm gonna try at least heal up. Okay, no, this is just so painful. I just hate playing Jackie right now. So bad. Other than a cheesy game mode payload because of like how broken the hitbox is with it. Where like literally Jackie is required to even hit shots on that game mode. So we're getting close to our super. We might actually be able to score here, even though these guys have just been recognized the entirety of the game. Okay, no, that's just not going to happen. It's just prolonging the inevitable here. They're definitely going to be able to score unless they mess it up. What's going in here? Looks like our Buzz has just rage quit because of how badly he's been getting destroyed in this game. Maybe we're able to corner it and buy ourselves some time, but I just think we're delaying the inevitable again. So it looks like these guys should be able to break out here. Yeah, I just don't see us being able to defend this one. So Buzz goes up, we concede, but yeah, Jackie just completely trash in this meta. Let's hop into the next brawl. Alright guys, so jumping into the 4th worst brawler with this meta, we have Squeak. So I believe Squeak was bottom 6 again last time, and I said at the beginning quite a few changes. I didn't realize that there actually wasn't too many. So Squeak, yeah, I just don't feel like he's really got any place in the meta right now. It's just so many other brawlers that can serve his purpose. But I feel like they're going to be really careful on Squeak because he has such a toxic mechanic. That's maybe like the only reason I can think as to why they're not buffing him. Because you got brawlers that get released into the game, right? You got brawlers like Eve, for example, literally released into the game like a week ago. And I'd say she's like a top 10 brawler easily right now. She's so strong. And you've got brawlers like Squeak, which haven't had a single meta in the game, which is just so painful. At least I think he should get some form of buff, even. Of course, if it makes him a little bit too strong, at least he gets his time in the meta, just because, again, I just don't feel like brawlers deserve no spotlight. Every single brawler has been one of the best in the game, and this brawler just basically sucks. So again, just like Jackie, Squeak's only really good on the new game mode payload, again, because he could just obviously stick his normal attack onto the payload and get damage consistently that way. Other than that, there's not really many modes you can push Squeak on right now. He's just okay across every single game mode. You know, as power 11, Squeak can still be alright, but when we're talking competitive, just so many brawlers can override him. And yeah, it just feels like he's just tickling the opponents, and good opponents can easily just dodge Squeak's attacks, get into his face, and that's where he's really going to actually struggle. That's going to be the 4th worst, so let's hop into number 3. Alright guys, so jumping into the 3rd worst brawler in the current meta, we have a Bo. So Bo, as always, just seems to be in the bottom 6. He did get a buff like 6 months ago or so, which seemed like a good buff to his damage, but that just hasn't done enough. There's so many different brawlers in the game right now that can just get so much value out of their supers, their gadgets, and Bo just doesn't seem to get value out of anything right now. So the only good thing about Bo is that obviously you get like a free super. This is literally like the only map which I've seen him being used in at all, and it's still like a really off meta pick if you're picking Bo, because at least you can put your totem behind here, put the mines in the middle. So I've actually used this like a month ago a few times in scrims. Didn't really work out too well, but again, it's like the only map in the game which I would suggest Bo on. Maybe in a few bounty cheesy maps, you know, there's some knockout strategies that are still really cheesy with Bo, but when we're talking high end of the meta, Bo just doesn't fit here whatsoever. We don't want any of that totem cheese. So for me, maybe I feel like they're being reluctant again because of a totem. Like, they always seem to be scared of buffing Bo too much because of how cheesy this totem is, which I feel like they've nerfed it over time, and they just need to give him some love, right? We need to buff him in another category. Maybe just give him some extra HP. Like, it doesn't have to be like really big. Like, his mines, I guess, are really good against people that aren't really the best. Like these low trophy games, I can just easily like team wipe with my mines. But when we're talking competitive, people know for the most part how to juke the mines, because you got people in voice chat just calling things out, and for the most part, you know where their mines lie. So yeah, Bo just needs some sort of love. Just not really seeing his time of day in this meta. Alright guys, so jumping into the 2nd worst brawler in this new meta, we have Penny. So Penny, of course, one of the worst brawlers in the game right now. Low trophies, she's really strong, but high trophies and just high power league, competitive, scrims, whatever else, Penny's just really bad. She actually seemed like a short time in the meta during the World Finals, because that wasn't like the draft system, and a lot of people using like Bo, Penny, but that's kind of been forgotten about now in a draft. Penny's just never used. She's not really a good use to any, well, against any other brawlers. You know, in draft, a lot of the time you want to pick brawlers that are good against everything, but also you have those brawlers that have the niche in like countering other brawlers. But Penny, I just don't feel like she counters really anyone. Like, a lot of times people can just take down a turret really easily, good players can also just dodge her shots really consistently because of how slow she is. But for the most part, you're just looking for your turret just to absolutely carry you because of how bad her main attack is. She just shoots so slow. Just brawlers like Rosa, who are just so rampant in the meta, can just walk all over her. She does no damage. She just shoots so slow. It's just painful to play Penny right now. And I actually really enjoy playing Penny for the most part because she's such an off-meta pick. But yeah, overall, just not really too strong. The only real like game modes I would play her in is like Gem Grabber as a gem carrier, but even then she's like the worst gem carrier out of everyone. So yeah, Penny just really trash in this meta. Let's hop into number 1. Alright guys, so jumping into the worst brawler in the new meta, we have Lou. So Lou right now is just so bad. Never seen being used in scrims whatsoever. Like the only time I'll see Lou be used is maybe on like maps like Ring of Fire, when there's just like so many aggro brawlers, like when you know for certain that you're facing off against aggro. But still then there's still other brawlers that can just counter the tanks, especially brawlers like Ems, you know, Tara, Shelly even, you know, so many other brawlers that are so good in comparison to Lou. And Lou's niche in the meta was Siege route. So Siege was by far Lou's best game mode because he could just freeze the boss, get an easy defense. But Siege is being removed, so yeah, you can see his impact in the meta just getting worse and worse. Just really don't enjoy playing Lou right now. Definitely needed some love. So just like Squeak, he hasn't really had a place in the meta whatsoever. Like when he was first released, I think he had an emergency buff because of how bad he was, and he was still really bad. Like I remember playing I think getting rank 35 Lou with Casey and Tom, and it was just so painful in comparison to other brawlers because of how bad he is. But still, I still feel like all brawlers in the game right now, which is kind of healthy, are still usable. That's the good thing about Brawl Stars right now. A lot of metas where brawlers just are unusable, but at least on ladder maybe Lou could be usable, especially if you get him to like power 11. Maybe if you have some good aim with Lou, like because it's actually so hard to hit shots with him. Maybe if you're just insane and can predict the enemy's movement, you know, you can really hit some nice shots with Lou. But I just don't see his values so far in the meta. So you can see here I'm consistently missing my shots like crazy, and his egg god's going to catch me out because I don't know, that's not even Lou, that's just me being horrendous. But anyway, I'm just so frustrated playing Lou because it's just so boring. I just don't like playing this brawler anymore. Just so bad. So it's going to be another loss in the video, but oh well, we had our fun with it. Okay, maybe we can get Jesse down. Jesse one shot. Okay, somehow we're clutching up here. Somehow we're clutching up. I think I talked too soon about that. We can steal some more gems, and yeah, Lou, best brawler in the game right here. But somehow I think I got a bit too greedy, and yeah, all the gems are back. Okay, yeah, I knew we were going to lose that, but I've had my fun with Lou. He's quite clearly the worst brawler in the game right now. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you think of my list in the comment section below. Would you change anything about the bottom 6? But as I said, overall I feel like all brawlers are somewhat usable in the game, which is pretty nice. You know, there's been past metas where brawlers like Primo, Shelly, Mr. P, etc have just been unusable in the meta, but at least in this meta some of them are usable in some certain game modes and maps. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.